Hello and welcome. This is Topic Tuesday. This is where people write me questions about Taekwondo and I print them out on a piece of paper and I go through the Taekwondo questions. It's a great thing to listen to while you get some exercise done. Go for a walk. Write me in the comments. Tell me what kind of exercises you got done while you were listening to Topic Tuesday. Or conversely, get some chores done, because cleanliness is next to godliness. And you know what? Doing your chores, like cleaning your house, it's kind of like some light exercise too, isn't it? So get some stuff done while you listen to these questions, to these discussions all about our beloved martial art of Taekwondo. Here we go. The first question. Master, I am new here. Can you give me a tip for kicking flexibility? This is from J. Kamendina. And yeah, I can give you some tips for kicking flexibility. You gotta stretch. Most people don't stretch enough. I would say take 2 or 3 days a week and devote 30 or so minutes to stretching. Now, all kinds of different stretches are going to be good. And ultimately, like I say to everybody who asks me questions about these physical sorts of things, if you can meet with a physical therapist and determine what weaknesses you have, what areas you should be focusing on for stretching, that's sort of the best thing to do, because I don't know who you are and where you're already naturally flexible and where you need to work on building flexibility. But generally speaking, you want to be able to develop your center and long split. If you can get those 2 splits down, that's going to go a long way in giving you the right kind of flexibility for kicking. If you work on that 2 to 3 times a week for about 30 minutes or so outside of your normal class time, that gives you a big advantage when it comes to building flexibility. Look, I have a school full of students. Maybe 10, maybe out of hundreds, I have almost 200. Maybe 10 stretch enough outside of class. Maybe. Most people just don't put in the time. So don't be lazy. Do your stretching. That's what it mostly comes down to. Okay, next question from Templo Oricolo 6999. I did my best with that. Master, can we perform poomsae as meditation practice? If yes, how and what should be our goal? Should it be more explosive or chilled? Would also like to humbly ask for permission to suggest that you posted more videos teaching techniques or even just about talking about Taekwondo history and philosophy. You have a great sense of humor, lots of knowledge, and a real knack for natural communication. Lots of flattery here. Thank you so much. As much as I love and never miss any Topic Tuesday, I do really enjoy when you play with other formats. I do know it takes a lot of time to record and edit those creative tasks, so no pressure here. Thank you for all your effort and wisdom. Wow, that's a lot of nice things you said there. Yeah, I'm sorry, I know I haven't been real consistent on the creative video formats lately. Most of that is due to me just taking a sabbatical to allow my hips some extra time to heal, because whenever I'm teaching a technique video, you can't really go 50% and put it up on the internet or everyone will tell you you suck. I mean, they do that anyway. So you got to give it your all, and then that ends up kind of hurting me. So kind of trying to figure out what to do with that right now. I have made some good progress working on rehabbing the hips. So I'm going to try some creative videos again soon. Don't worry about it. This is just an extra type of video content, the Topic Tuesday. But anyway, your question. You certainly can do meditation while you're practicing any type of movement. In fact, I did a Zen retreat a few times when I was studying Aikido. Zazen meditation was part of the practice, and the dojo I was at doubled as a Zen temple. And one was like this like day and a half ordeal where you did not talk the entire time. And you did seated meditation and moving meditation and even meditation while you ate. And the walking one was quite interesting because you were in a line with the other people at the Zen temple, and you would walk at a certain pace, and the Zen master at the front would change the speed of the walking And so if you weren't in the moment, if you were letting your mind wander, you would bump into the person in front of you. So you had to keep your speed in flux. You had to stay in the moment at all times, which is a big part of meditation, of just existing in the moment. You can certainly do that with poomsae. If you're looking to do it in that sort of pure Zen form, I think you just sort of allow your mind to go blank rather than concentrate on like destroying the enemy. You're just in the moment, which would be more of a state of relaxation. But you can play with all sorts of different formats. You know, if you want to work on a performance quality, you can imagine an opponent in front of you and have that intense expression. And that could do well for performances like in competition. So you can practice a number of ways. Let's see. I guess that was your only question in here. That was a good question. Play with it and then report back, see what you find. Okay, next one from Hugh Sleek. Again, trying my best on that name. Hugh Sleek. What can I do if I get cornered? Just a habit of being, let's see, I'm going to read this again. What can I do if I get cornered always? Just a habit of being close to the wall. Okay, so they're always getting cornered and getting stuck next to the wall. This is where, I assume you're talking about in sparring, this is where clinching is such an important part of the practice. But, as always, the key to not going out of the ring or getting cornered before you're in that predicament in the first place is to just try not to back up all the time. So maintain a sense of awareness of the center and trying to control the center. Next time you spar, I want you to just think about, above all else, staying in the middle. Now you may get scored on, but I want you to just try that so that you kind of develop a heightened sense of your ring awareness and start prioritizing that as a higher level, at a higher level. Because ultimately, that's going to be the easiest solution, is just not getting in that situation. Now, let's assume you do end up in the corner. It happens to everybody once in a while. That's where this clinching thing I was talking about comes in real handy. What you do is you shoot in. Maybe you throw a kick first, like a front leg side kick, a cut kick, or you just shoot in if you have the space to do it without getting hit. And you get really close to the person, so close that they're not much of a threat when it comes to kicking. And then you try to weave off of them in a way that it puts you back into the middle area of the ring. That's a good way to help you control space, should you find yourself in the corner. But generally speaking, if you have a strong enough offense in terms of when they're coming in, it's a counter kick, a defensive, offensive skill where you're intercepting them, you're stopping them with your side kick, you're making them respect your space. You can control the center to some degree. All right. Next question from JV Kunufan 8155. Thanks for these Topic Tuesday discussions. I have a possible topic. I understand that each poomsae has a theme. For example, taegeuk iljang speaks to sky or heaven. The stances are short and upright, reaching to heaven, and this should encourage power development in short, tall stances. My question is, how do you integrate the other elements into each poomsae? What should I aim for in taegeuk iljang to have external gentleness and internal power? Do you have any general guidance on how to incorporate these themes into poomsae practice and performance? Yeah, if you don't know, each of the taegeuk forms have a symbolic representation, as you mentioned. Taegeuk 1 is heaven, taegeuk 2, lake, taegeuk 3, fire, taegeuk 4 is thunder, 5 is wind, 6 is water, 7 is mountain, and 8 is earth. Okay. Now, if you watch like the Kukyuan videos where they talk about these elements in the taegeuk forms, they'll tell you, you know, to perform with like gentleness, like he was talking about, or something like that. So how do you actually put that into the performance? This is kind of disappointing. I asked the top level poomsae competitor and someone who I consider to be quite well versed in the history of Taekwondo this very same question, probably about a year ago. It was on a It was at a seminar. It was actually during a video call. He was doing like a presentation on the history of Taekwondo and poomsae. And I asked this very same question, because you would think that there is a performance sort of element here, but there's not. No, these movements, these divination signs is what they're called. They come from a book called the I Ching, and you're just making that shape on the floor, the particular divination pattern. I often plug my video, The Mystical Meaning of the Taekwondo Trigrams, or the taegeuk trigrams. Check that out. That will go more into detail on that. But that's what it's talking about. You're not actually going to make any performance changes that are noted. Like, there's no textbook. There's no official documentation anywhere that tells you, for example, how to make taegeuk 3 more fiery, like fire. It's a neat sort of intellectual concept, a way to catalog the form in your mind, and maybe you can tell yourself your own sort of mythology about each form to help inform how you want to practice. But I'm sorry, I know it's disappointing. There's no official doctrine on this from any Taekwondo sources. It's not there. So there's nothing to say here. Most poomsae are performed in the same sort of manner in terms of you stage your hands slowly, you fire your hands quickly, you engage your stances the same way, all across the board. There's not really a change in, this like idea of gentleness or putting thunder into your form or anything like that. All right, next question from Monkey. How do you make practices helpful for a wide variety of skill levels? Specifically, this would be for a college Taekwondo club that competes sparring and poomsae. That's a good question. Well, yeah, you can't have everybody working on beginner content the whole time, right? So there are some things that everyone can easily do together. So the warm-ups, and then basic techniques, everyone needs to work on those, whether you're a beginner or an advanced student. You're always sharpening and refining your basics, and those are what keep you in shape to perform Taekwondo correctly in the first place. So you can do those things together, you can stretch together, but at a certain point you're going to have to create pods of people based on their experience level. And so you can have advanced students working together and beginners working together, and you can give them different tasks depending on what particular skills they need to be building for where they're at. So I do this in a lot of classes where, like my kids' classes, I'll have beginners all the way up to advanced students together, and we start out, we open class together, we do our warm-ups together, we do some basics together, and then we break into pods and work on the things they need for each particular skill level. All right, that's all my questions for this week. As always, I'm so grateful. You guys keep delivering. You're writing in, you're asking questions, you're giving me content to talk about every single week, which is fantastic. And again, I'm sorry that I haven't put out more of the sort of creative, more in-depth editing type of videos. I promise I will be getting back to those soon, and I'll keep the Topic Tuesdays going. This is just additional bonus material. It's not a replacement of those. And I'm grateful you're watching and participating. Keep your training up. Until next time.